In this video, I want to go over all of the installation and adjustment instructions for the Gen 2 adjustable buttstock. So if you purchased one, let's start with what comes in the box. And so your adjustable buttstock will come in a box just like this. Let's open it up. It'll come in one of 4 mounting options. And so you have your buffer mounting options that can either be fixed or folding, and you have your 1913 Picatinny mounting options that can also be fixed or folding. So it'll come in one of those variations. Inside the box will be the stock. We'll have a couple stickers in there for you, and then a QR code on a card that'll take you to this video on our website. And then we'll also have a spanner wrench in the options with a buffer mounting system. And then also on that buffer mounting system will be your castle nut, which will be used for installation, which I'll show here in just a second. So once you have everything unpacked, let's talk about how to actually mount each variation of the buttstock. So for our Picatinny mounting options, if you're familiar with standard 1913 Picatinny mounting, this will be the exact same. And so you have 2 installation screws on the side. So you just take that Picatinny clamp, use a 5/32 drive hex wrench, and tighten your screws to 35 inch-pounds onto the Picatinny chassis, a bufferless AR, or whatever Picatinny interface rifle you are using. That'll be for the fixed and the folding variation of the Picatinny stock. Now for the buffer-mounted variants of the buttstock, these are mil-spec buffer threads, and so in the back of our original UD chassis or any other chassis that uses the mil-spec buffer threads, you can just simply thread in the buttstock all the way until your castle nut makes contact with the back of the mounting interface. One thing to keep in mind is with the castle nut, you don't want to spin it back past the end of the threads so that you keep all of the thread engagement that you need. And so make sure that's maximum flush with the back of the threads. Now thread in your buttstock until you make contact with the castle nut, and then time your buttstock. And so what I mean by that is you actually unthread it until you are directly in line with the rest of your rifle and your buttstock is in the position that you want whenever you'll be shooting. And if you're mounting this into the UD chassis, we have a slot in the bottom of the threads, just like we did on our original adjustable buttstock, for the set screw in the chassis. And so you actually thread that set screw up through the chassis until it makes contact with that flat interface in the buttstock threaded slot. And that will help time your buttstock as well. It'll keep it there in the right position whenever you're tightening your castle nut. So once you thread that set screw up and torque it, you can then tighten your castle nut the rest of the way and torque that down with the provided spanner wrench. The fixed version has a little more room, so if you have a spanner wrench at home that you like to use, you can do that. But the folding version, there's not much room on the back of that castle nut, and that is why we provided a spanner wrench for you to use to torque that down. So once you have the buttstock installed, you're pretty much ready to shoot. As long as you have everything torqued down, the screws for the Picatinny mounting versions, torque those down, or the castle nut for the buffer mounted versions, make sure you have everything torqued. So now it's time to figure out all the adjustments that are available on this buttstock. If you have a folding option, all you have to do is press the side folding button, fold it all the way to the side of the chassis. There is tension in the hinge, and so there's no detent or spring-loaded system. It constantly has tension on it, so you can fold it, it'll stay there, and then you fold it back and it'll lock right back into place. And so that side folding mechanism is available with the Picatinny mounting option as well as the buffer mounting option. The rest of the adjustments on the buttstock include toolless cheek rise adjustment. And so our tensioner knobs always need to be loosened whenever you're making your adjustments. So to do the cheek rise, you just simply loosen the tensioner knob, and then your adjustment wheel controls the up and down of the cheek piece. You can adjust it to the proper height that you need it, and then you'll notice that it rattles. But the tensioner knob, as soon as it tightens, gets rid of that rattle. And so get it to the height you want it, tighten the tensioner knob, and you'll be set. And then at the top of the cheek piece, you'll also have horizontal cheek piece adjustment. So those screws take an 1/8 inch hex drive wrench. You can just simply loosen those, move the cheek piece forward or backward wherever you need it, align the holes that you want to be aligned with the threaded rods, install your screws back in and tighten those to 15 inch-pounds. And so that gives you an inch of horizontal adjustment. And then for your length of pull adjustment, it's the same basic setup with a tensioner knob. Loosen it, unthread or thread your adjustment wheel in the back, and that'll either lengthen your length of pull or shorten your length of pull. And then whenever you get it where you want it, just simply tighten the tensioner knob back up, and that'll take out all your slop and rattle. One important thing to note when making your adjustments on your buttstock is that your threaded rods, once they are flush with the body surface, you can't go any further. Otherwise, you risk completely unthreading the rod. And so for example, once this is flush with that surface, that's as far as you can go. Tighten that down. Same with your length of pull. When you're threading it out, as soon as this is flush, tighten it down. Otherwise, you risk completely unthreading it. If you're someone who needs more than 13.75 inches length of pull, we also offer our spacer kit to give an inch of additional length of pull. It's pretty easily installed. All you have to do is remove the 2 screws in the back of your butt pad with an 1/8 inch wrench. Take those out, and then however many spacers you need, we have that corresponding set of screws for that installation. And so you'll notice in our spacer kit, we have 4 sets of screws. Each one is for a different amount of spacers being installed. The shortest set of screws is for 1 spacer, the next longest is for 2 spacers, so on and so forth until the longest screws are used for all 4 spacers being installed. So those are 1/4 inch each. You can put as many as you want to get up to 1 more inch of additional length of pull. Simply put in the correct screw size, torque it down to 15 inch-pounds. You'll also notice that we have a QD sling hole in the buttstock, and so that is meant for QD attachments, such as this sling here. It is for swivel type attachments, and so as you can see, insert the sling, it's just detented into that hole, and you can simply unattach it as well. The last thing we have available for this buttstock is our bag rider. And so with the bag rider, we send the installation screw required. The bag rider goes into this threaded hole in the bottom of the buttstock. So all you have to do is put the bag rider into that slot, align the threaded hole, put in your screw, and torque it down to 20 inch-pounds. 2 more things I want to cover with these buttstock instructions. First, it is to get the buttstock to be compatible with left-handed bolts. So all you have to do is unfold your folding mechanism, and there is a screw on the inside. Simply loosen that screw on the inside. You don't even have to take it all the way out. Loosen it enough to where you can flip the folding mechanism, and then tighten it back down to 40 inch-pounds. And that'll flip the folding mechanism so that it'll fold on the right side of the rifle instead of the left side to be out of the way of your left-handed bolts. The second thing I want to talk about is in the folding mechanism itself. We preset the tension on the folding screw to 40 inch-pounds. That gives us the perfect combination of being able to fold your rifle and the stock stays folded without an actual locking mechanism so that you can grab it and unfold it if you want to. If that ever gets too loose to where the stock is falling away from the rifle without being acted upon, you can simply tighten that screw back down to 40 inch-pounds, and that'll set it back to the factory tension. So that is pretty much everything you need to know to install, adjust, or add attachments to the Gen 2 adjustable buttstock. If you have any more questions, please feel free to reach out to us by email at sales@ultradyne USA, or give us a call, and we're always happy to help.